A detective in Michigan has been charged with murder for allegedly hitting and killing a suspect in an unmarked police car.
Welcome to CSL TV, and I just hope you guys are having a beautiful, blessed day. Now, if you're new to the channel, this is just a review, a reaction, as well as an informational channel. Hopefully, the informational part help you and someone out, and we just pretty much watch these videos and talk about them. Now, if you've been rocking with your boy, I just gotta say thank you so much, because you could be somewhere else trying to watch these videos. But yeah, you here rocking it out with CSL TV, and I just gotta say thank you so much. But I don't like making my intros too long, so I just hope everybody having a beautiful, blessed day. Let's get it.
This story out of Ohio is tragic, and we have to warn you, the details may be upsetting. This is 23-year-old Jacob Durbin, a military veteran and police officer who'd been on the force in the suburbs of Cleveland for less than 2 years. Jacob was engaged to be married this July and had a promising life ahead. His father reportedly also serves as a police officer in the same department. This past Saturday, just before 10 p.m., Jacob was one of the officers responding to a call from a woman who feared for her life, saying she and her child were being threatened by the child's father. When Jacob and his fellow officers arrived, she warned them that the suspect might still be nearby. Tragically, as they moved to check the backyard, gunfire erupted. In a sudden and violent ambush, Jacob was struck by multiple gunshots. Despite being rushed to the hospital, he did not survive his injuries. The news shattered the community in his department, where he was remembered as an incredible person. The gunman fled the scene, sparking a manhunt that lasted into the next day. He was later identified as 24-year-old Deshaun Anthony Vaughn and eventually located some 9 miles from where the tragedy unfolded. After a standoff with law enforcement, Vaughn was found dead inside a home. Cops would not elaborate on how he died or reveal if they exchanged gunfire with the suspect, who they say was heavily armed. A motive for the shooting is still under investigation. In 2023, 136 federal, state, and local law enforcement officers died in the line of duty, compared to 224 officials in 2022. That's a decrease of almost 40%.
My condolences goes out to this police officer family. Nobody deserves to have their life fate chosen by the hands of somebody else just because they're not high powered. Now, it's good to know that the police killing went down 40%. I mean, too bad we couldn't live in a world where none of this shit was, possible, but unfortunately, we're very past that. Domestic violence, domestic abuse. I mean, I think they went crazy on this dude just because they killed a fellow family member as they look at a fellow officer. So I'm pretty sure they went ham on him, knowing he was heavily armed with guns and stuff like that, and he had did something very stupid and disturbing. So I don't think he knew this was going to end peacefully, because it wasn't going to end peacefully. Not if you do some stupid dramatic shit like this.
A detective in Michigan has been charged with murder for allegedly hitting and killing a suspect in an unmarked police car. The state's attorney general says in mid-April, officers were trying to arrest Samuel Sterling for several felony warrants and skipping probation. A chase quickly began, and the AG says that's when Detective Brian Keeley hit Sterling with an unmarked car.
We have found that Detective Sergeant Keeley's actions that day were legally, grossly negligent and created a very high risk of death or great bodily harm, which could have otherwise been prevented.
Sterling was taken to the hospital but died from his injuries. An attorney for Sterling's family says Keeley used the car as a deadly weapon. Keeley's lawyer says his client had no intention of hurting Sterling, and the accident could have been avoided if he complied with officers' demands. The lawyer also said Keeley is heartbroken for Sterling's family, and the charges were filed because of political pressure on the AG. Keeley has been suspended since the incident in April.
Man, that's crazy, but my condolences goes out to that young man's family. And I don't care if he was in trouble or not. Nobody deserves to die in the hands of somebody else, because we don't possess that type of high power. As well as in, a car weighs thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds, and they can travel over 100 miles per hour. So he killed this man because he was running and had a warrant. They knew who he was. They could have just followed this guy mean, they already used a lot of resources trying to capture him by being, you know, how they did it, unmarked car, whatever the reason could be. But that still don't mean you had to kill him or run him over. I used to use bullets as this vehicle, thousands and thousands of pounds going over 100 miles per hour, because a bullet is very small, but it comes at you very fast and it can kill you, just like this vehicle did. So yeah, he should have just followed him and did the more saferest, whatever way he could have. He could have even blocked the guy. He ain't had to run him over. But I think he should be charged with manslaughter or whatever they want to charge him with, because he shouldn't be just giving a high five. You caught the guy, but unfortunately he can't work for this department. No, there should be consequences, because he wouldn't like it if he would have got ran over. If it was his fault or whatever the reason could be, nobody, like I said, nobody deserved to die in the hands of somebody else.